everyone, I'm Jennifer. Thank you for joining me tonight. We are going to do some all levels yoga. So let's get started. Okay, so find a comfortable seated position. And lift up through the crown of your head. Relax your shoulders down away from your ears and take a big inhale through your nose. And then slowly exhale out your mouth. And again, inhale through your nose. And exhale slowly out your mouth. And again, inhale through your nose. Exhale slowly out your mouth. Try to keep that same depth of breath, that same fluidity of breath, but try to make it a completely nostril breath. So try to let both the inhale and the exhale go through your nose. As you inhale, you want to feel your belly and your chest moving away from your back body. And then as you exhale, you want to feel your chest and your belly coming toward your back body. So it's like you're filling up and then emptying out. And then try to think of something that you'd like to manifest into your day today. Now, if you're watching this live, it is in the evening. So whenever we do an evening class, I always say that maybe you want to think of something you want to manifest into your tomorrow. So don't disregard anything that you think is too silly or insignificant. If it's something you'd like to manifest, it's something you'd like to manifest. So maybe it's just simply sitting outside under your favorite tree. Or taking the time to call an old friend or family member. Whatever it is, just trying to start to paint a picture of what it looks like when you have what you've asked to manifest. So really making the picture as detailed as possible. Adding any sounds or scents. Trying to capture how you'll feel. Making it as real as possible. And then just staying in this place for 2 minutes. Meditating 2 minutes on something that you'd like to manifest into your day. And then deepening your breath, bringing yourself back to the room, switching the cross of those legs. Circle that spine. Start to wake up the energy centers in your back. And switch direction. And then holding it in the center, taking your right arm, reaching it up. Nice and long through those fingertips. Try to get a stretch through your side body. Hip to fingers. Exhale that arm down, then try the other side, same thing. Inhale, reach that arm up. Exhale that arm down, trying the same thing on the other side. And switch. Exhaling that arm down, coming into an all fours position. Lining up those wrist creases so that they are parallel to the short end of the mat. Those big toes point straight back. Let your pelvis spill forward toward the floor. And then switch the curve of that back. Coming into a cat pose. And then moving between cat and cow. Hold a neutral spine. Now, walk your hands forward so that they are slightly ahead of your shoulders. And then curl those toes under and lift those knees and hips. Pressing back into downward facing dog. And feel free to walk the dog if you'd like, letting one leg exaggerate the length as the other leg bends slightly. Waking up the back of those legs. Strengthening those arms and shoulders. And then holding down dog. Drop those knees. Bring those big toe mounds together. And allow those hips to fall back for child. Come up to an all fours position. Now, you may want to use blocks or something like blocks to give yourself a little bit more space, so you may be fine without them. We're going to step our right foot forward. You want your front knee over your front ankle, and then from here, we're going to sweep those arms up. Inhaling long through the arms and spine, and exhaling heavy through your hips. Exhale, sweep both arms down. Now you may, again, find it beneficial to place your left hand on a block. You want your wrist directly under your shoulder. Keep your front knee over your front ankle as you twist toward that front leg, and maybe extending that arm up toward the ceiling. Exhaling that arm down and sliding that front leg back, stepping that left foot forward. Same thing on the other side. Inhale, sweeping those arms up. Exhale, sweeping those arms down, placing your right wrist directly under your right shoulder. From here, twisting toward that front leg and maybe lifting up that arm. Exhaling, sweeping that arm down and taking that leg back. Bringing those wrists, once again, slightly ahead of your shoulders, curling your toes under, lifting your knees and hips for another downward facing dog. Exhale, drop down to those knees. Now this may feel a little too detailed for some of you. And if you're truly able to keep your elbows shoulder distance apart, it might be a step you can skip. Otherwise, if you have a belt, and a yoga belt is ideal, but any belt will do, and you want to cinch it so that your elbows are only shoulder distance apart and no further. Sometimes we have the tendency to do this, and then it shortens that area up at the upper back, just below the bottom of your neck. We want to try to avoid that as we come into forearm plank. So, again, cinching that belt. And if you like, you can use a block if you have one as a spacer, but you don't necessarily need to. If you do, the block goes right at the space between your pointer finger and your thumb. And again, it's just a spacer to help you keep your alignment. From here, curl those toes under, lift those knees and hips, and try to get yourself into as much of a plank as you can. Of course, modified. You can always drop those knees down to the mat and hold the modified forearm plank. Forearm planks are very powerful because they work pretty much the entire front body, coming down resting. So if you have a belt that you were using, letting it go, coming down, resting on your belly, letting your head rest to one side. Coming up, and if you had a belt and you removed it, placing it back. If you decided not to use a belt, again, please be conscious of where those elbows are. And then from here, curling those toes under, lifting those knees and hips, and coming into a forearm plank. Feel free to hold a little longer. Rest if you need to. You can always come back up. And again, you can always drop those knees down. When you feel like you've held long enough, removing that strap, placing it over to the side, and coming down, resting your head the other way. Taking your hands beside your ribs and using your arms to lift yourself back up into an all-fours position. And again, you may find the blocks helpful. You may find them unnecessary. Stepping that right foot forward. Now, modified, you're going to keep the back knee down and basically duplicate what we did a little earlier. Or you can curl that back toe under, lengthen that back leg, and lift up into a crescent pose. You can go as low as 90 degrees with that front knee. It is challenging. And then twist toward that front leg. Bringing those arms back up to the center. Exhale, sweeping them down. Drop the back knee. Slide that front leg back. And then switching to the other side. Left leg steps forward. So again, modify by keeping the back knee down. Or lengthen the back leg, lift the back knee, come up into a crescent. The heel is directly behind the toes on the back foot. And then twist. And sweep those arms up, sweep those arms down. And drop the back knee, coming forward. Now, taking that right leg forward, and I'm just going to spin around a bit. You want to take the right knee up to behind. That front shin is at a diagonal, so that the right foot ends up right in front of the left hip or thigh. Curl the toes under, lift, and keeping the hips even, allow those hips to drop closer to the floor. Now, some of you are going to be able to rest this hip directly on the floor. I am not able to. So, feel free to place the support underneath. A large towel or a folded blanket will work. So coming into some sort of pigeon. From here, you can certainly stay up, or if you'd like today, you can come down into a variation where we're not really in sleeping pigeon, not reaching those arms forward, but instead coming into just sort of a hybrid pose where we're resting on our forearms. If you're not feeling a stretch through your front hip, you can always take that shin from more of a diagonal position to more of a position where the shin almost becomes parallel to the short end of the mat. Some of you who have very open hips will actually be able to get it parallel to the short end of the mat. And then from here, taking those hands underneath those shoulders, curl that back toe under. Modified, you can go into an all-fours position, or if you like, you can transition into a three-legged dog, where you lift that knee and you open the front of that hip. So we would just in VP hip flexion and getting a little bit of a stretch through the front of the hip. Extend the leg, drop it down, drop back down to an all fours position, and then trying the same thing on the other side. So taking that left knee up to the left wrist. Wrists are into the shoulders. And then curl the toe under, lift the knee, shake those hips down. If you're unable to rest directly on the floor, place a folded blanket under that hip and find a pigeon pose that works for you. From here, taking those hands back under the shoulders, curling that back toe under, and again, you can go into an all fours position, or you can come into that three-legged dog. And extending that leg, dropping it down. One more time, we're going to bring that right leg forward, bringing that knee up to the wrist. Coming back into that pigeon position. Coming down. Now this time horse, or you can angle that left forearm in a bit and just place the hand on the outside of the hip. Or you can come down a little bit more and bring yourself in to a twisted pigeon position. So it's entirely up to you. Choose what works best for you. Coming back, bringing those wrists under those shoulders. And then you can come back to three-legged dog, most certainly. Or you can simply come back to that all fours position, extend that leg, and press back a little bit through that right heel. Maybe feeling a stretch through that calf. And then dropping that leg down and taking that left knee up toward the left wrist. Coming back into pigeon. Lift those hips. Allow those hips to shake down. And again, you can most certainly stay here. Or you can angle that right forearm in, place the hand on the hip. Or you can come into more of a twisted pigeon pose if you'd like. Spiraling your ribs, letting the upper portion of your rib cage spiral up and back. The lower portion of your rib cage spiral down and forward. coming back into that pigeon position. And again, going into three-legged dog, or simply extending that leg back, pressing back through that heel. And then coming back into an all-fours position. If you have blocks, you may want to use them. We're going to take that right foot, step that right foot forward. We're going to curl the back toe under, lift the back knee, and drop that back foot with a heel to heel alignment. If you're able to, lengthen that front leg without locking out the knee. Now, one thing that's going to happen, I know it happened for me, is that your right hip is going to come in front of the left hip and the right waist is going to shorten. If you can, think about moving that right hip back in space, bringing length into both sides of your waist, and letting your sternum move forward directly in front of you rather than off at a diagonal. So holding a variation of your pyramid pose right here. Now, modified, you can keep your left hand on your left block, if possible. Moving your left hand to the right block, placing the hand on the hip, coming into twisted triangle. Exhale that arm down. Bring the hands back to those respective blocks, coming into a lunge. Drop the knee. Slide that leg back, and then take that opposite leg forward. So again, lengthening that back leg, coming into a heel-to-heel alignment. Front heel draws a straight line to the back heel. And then move that left hip back in space to align your hips evenly and to bring length back into the left side of your torso. So from here, you can keep your right hand on your right block if you're modifying, or you can bring your right hand to your left block. Your left hand to your left hip, and then optional, extend that arm up. Exhale that arm down. Bring those hands back, pivoting into a lunge, and coming back. Coming to rest in child's pose. So you can choose whatever form of child you'd like. You can extend those arms forward. You can drape the arms by your side. Or you can use a prop, something like a block, to rest your third eye on if you'd like. Entirely up to you. And then coming back up into an all-fours it forward, lifting the back leg, taking the other foot, stepping it forward, coming into a forward fold. Inhale, heart forward, head forward. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale. Sweep those arms up. Rounding through those feet. Exhaling those arms down by your side. And standing nice and tall. Lifting up through the top of your head. And then stepping out wide on your mat. Maybe you want to utilize your blocks. Maybe you're going to be okay without them. It's up to you. From here, with your feet parallel, so feet are parallel to each other, fold forward. So going into a comfortable forward fold, whatever that is for you. You may find that you need to narrow your stance. You may find that you need to widen your stance. Try to keep the weight evenly distributed between both feet. And as far as each foot, making sure that you're distributing some weight to the inner and outer and front and back foot. From here, take your right hand, grab hold of your left ankle, if you can. If not, just place that hand somewhere on the floor. Now you can take your hand on your hip, or you can reach that arm up. Coming back to center. Relaxing here in the center. And then taking that left hand to the right ankle. So again, you can hold it here. You can simply reach that arm out front. You can place it on the hip, or you can reach it up. All options. Walk those hands back to center. And walking those hands back to the top of the mat. Drop the back knee and slide that leg back. From here, coming into a supine position. If you have a block or a pillow, or even a towel, you could roll a towel up. You want to take it, we're going to place it between our legs. So, coming back, and just grounding the bottom of your feet. Your knees are pointing upward. You can walk those heels so they're relatively close to your hips. Oftentimes people can take their fingers and brush the back of their heels. So I'm just a little, oh, there I go. I was going to say, I'm just a little short on doing that. But I did. You want to be able to, ideally, either come close or actually brush the back of your heel. So your feet are hip distance apart. Grab hold of a block. And then from here, lift up, initially to a bridge pose. So lifting the hips, engaging the gluteals and the hamstrings. Think about pulling the heels back in the direction of the hips, even though the feet aren't moving anywhere on the floor. And now drop those hips. From here, we're going to lift those legs, still squeezing into the midline with the block. Now, when you need to, rest. But what we're going to do from here is a little core strengthening. We're going to lift the head and the shoulders. We're going to tuck the chin. We're going to reach those arms forward and try to tuck ourselves into a little ball. And dropping down. And resting those feet again. And then, once again, coming up into a bridge. And dropping down. And once again, coming into that core strengthener, adjusting that block if you need to. Coming up and squeeze. Engage those abdominals. Reach, reach, reach through those fingers. And dropping down, resting. Taking that block or pillow and putting it over to the side, but we will use it, again, momentarily. From here, just allowing your arms to come out to the side, your palms face the ceiling. They can be in goalposts, or they can be straight out to the side. Cross your right leg over. Lift your hips, swing them right. Let your legs drop to the left. Keep the shoulders down, and if you can, look right. Bringing those legs back to center, uncrossing, and trying the same thing on the other side. So left leg crosses over. Lift the hips, swing them to the left. Allow those legs to drop to the right, gaze to the left, if you can. So I probably should have mentioned this at the beginning rather than the end of class. But if you're still here, then you know that it was a core-focused workout tonight. Taking those legs back to center, uncrossing those legs, bringing those hips back to center, and then grabbing hold of that blocker, that pillow again, placing it back between your legs. Very similar to what we did before, you're going to pull your knees into your chest. You're going to lift your head and shoulders off the floor, and you're going to reach both arms to the right this time. So getting a little waist involved. If you, for some reason, get fatigued in your neck, you can always bring one hand behind your head. Keep reaching through those fingers. Keep twisting. And then rest. Rest the legs, rest the torso. Regrouping so that you're ready to give this second side as much as you gave to the first side. So again, placing that block or that pillow between those legs, taking them in and twisting to the side. the side. Now, from here, you can simply come up. That's going to be the easiest thing. And come into boat pose. Or from here, you can reach the arms overhead, take a big inhale, and then on your exhale, you can come up into a boat pose. You can bend the legs to modify. You can hold on to modify. Try to keep the spine long. And then coming down, finding a comfortable seated position. Bending your right leg. You can always sit on a blanket if you're having difficulty lengthening your spine. Twisting toward that bent leg. Continuing to inhale, nice and long. And then exhale right into that twist. From here, we'll come to the center and fold forward. Coming up, bending that leg, and twisting. Inhaling long, exhaling twist. Now, coming back to the center. Now, this is something I've done for a while myself, since most of us have been in quarantine for quite a while. And I'm trying it live, so it may or may not work. So you may or may not be comfortable doing this. Now, you can do it with your feet on the floor, or you can do it with what we'll call a little launching can of a block. You come up onto the block, and you come into a low squat position. Now, from here, let me turn this way, you're going to, whether your feet are on the floor, or whether you're perched up on a block, spread out those fingers nice and wide, and modified. People generally will put their inner knee somewhere on their upper arm. More advanced, the knee goes up much more toward your armpit, onto the back of your arm. Now, you can just come in here, hold here, and not lift those toes up into some variation of Bakasana. The action comes through engaging that core, engaging that upper body. You'll agree we did a lot of core work today, and a little bit of upper body work. So maybe those toes float up, maybe they don't. It's all what you're comfortable with. But then coming down out of that. And then bringing yourself back into a supine position. And taking those feet out to the edges of your mat and allowing those legs to go side to side like a windshield wiper. let those knees fall into the center. And then bringing yourself to a place for final relaxation, letting your feet go out toward the edge of the mat. The palms are upward facing. And the breath is comfortable. Don't struggle to change it. Just be aware of it. You can always rest your feet on a bolster or pillow. Especially if your low back bothers you. Ideally, the palms are upward facing, allowing your front body to open and relax. With each exhale, try to eliminate any tension or tightness that you're holding on to. Let it go and fade off. Bend your legs and plant your feet. Of course, you can stay in final relaxation longer if you like. Just pause the video. When you do feel ready, roll over to one side and lift yourself up into a seated position. Lift up through the crown of your head and observe how you feel. What differences do you notice compared to about 50 minutes ago when we started? And inhale those arms up, exhale those hands to heart center. The light within me salutes the light within you. Namaste. So someone was asking me yesterday about all the videos that we've done, and I know we do them on Facebook Live, but they're also uploaded to the channel on YouTube. They're all categorized by playlists. So if you're looking for a Pilates class, they're all categorized under the Pilates playlist. Similarly for gentle yoga, all levels yoga, kids yoga. So be sure to check out the YouTube channel. You can subscribe and you'll get notified when we post new videos in case you missed it on Facebook. Take care, hope to see you soon.